Hi.
How is everybody doing?
Oh, I just can't believe we're 12 days out from Christmas, but
I
trying to
know.
trying to hang in there.
How is our volume to everybody? Because Carly and Cass seem a little bit low to me. Did they seem low to everybody else?
I'm low.
You
Yeah.
might have to fix it on in StreamYard because I can't find because when I go to it, I have it as default.
Okay. Let's see here.
Can you hear me better now?
Oh my
Or the
goodness.
same?
Hey everyone. Hey John. Hey Juju.
It's
Hey
on
Mousy.
automatic.
Hey April. Hey Tina.
April says it's good. So it might just be me. What are you laughing at?
My kid. He's like, hey JJ.
Oh.
Because that's my brother's name.
Yay, Mousy made it. I thought she was going to be late.
Our guest is here.
All right. Hi, Mousy.
Hello. How are you?
Hi.
Oh,
Sorry.
goody. Oh, no worries. I
Had
thought you were going to be late. You're not late.
Oh, I was thinking I was going to, but I had to get the kids, all out of the living room.
Kick them all out.
It's like everyone go now.
Hi, Tina. Did we say hi to Tina? Hi, Tina. Hi, Tina. Hi, Tina. Hi, Juju.
I did.
Hi, Jen. Time for group grope.
Oh, yeah. Getting that rope in early.
Oh, Buddy's here. He wants to say hi. I decided to stream from my couch, so Buddy's like, excuse me, this is where we cuddle. What are you doing?
All right.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know. Rude. The rum. Oh, I can't do rum. I mean, I can, but not really.
Some rum is good.
Yeah.
It needs to be with a mixer. I can't do it straight.
Yeah. Like the Captain Morgan and Coke. I can do that like with Coke a little bit, but
yeah, or the coconut rum with like pineapple juice. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
That's my favorite right there. That or dark rum with some pineapple juice. That's my jam.
Just give me either a Buzzball or Jack and Coke. That's all I need.
Now, I don't want to be the buzzkill, pun intended, but one of the tips to managing holiday stress is to watch your alcohol intake.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. We'll get into all that.
I saw that, but I was like, does that mean like you just can't have too much, or you shouldn't like rely on it at all?
Well, I mean, I think that depends. First of all, I mean, if
like, does it just depend on why you're drinking as opposed to like?
I would say yes, it depends on why you're drinking, and I would say that one's really complex. If you're on, depending on which
exactly, Juju.
What did you say? You're watching it increase. I would say, first of all, and I again, not trying to be the buzzkill, but please let's watch how we speak about alcohol in this stream, because we want this to be a safe and inviting place for everybody, and that includes everybody, and there may be people with addiction issues, including alcohol. And so when we, I just don't want it to get out of hand. I'm not trying to tell you how to speak, but please don't let it get out of hand.
Right.
But as far as, mental health issues go, the first one that comes to mind, well, not the first one that comes to mind, but if you're on certain medications, then you definitely should watch how much you're taking in, because that's not a good idea to go too far.
Yeah, I think it actually says on my antidepressants
to not at all. Yeah.
Alcohol.
Now, and I've certainly had a drink or two with my medications and had no problem, but I'm starting a new medication. I was supposed to start it today. I'm a little bit nervous about it. So I don't think I personally would go.
Is it for your anxiety or is it?
It's for, and that's speaking of that right there, they do it to boost I'm not sure how to describe it as well as the commercial does, but it boosts the other medication that you take for depression, to like make it more I don't know how to describe it.
Is it kind of like Abilify? Because my daughter is on that one.
It is that. It's an alternative to taking that. It's called Rexulti.
Okay, yeah, we've heard about that one because my daughter is actually on Abilify with her other medications.
Yeah,
and she's okay with me talking about her medications. She's over the age of 18.
Yeah,
she's an adult now, and she didn't know how bad her problems were until she was an adult.
Yeah,
because the doctors kept thinking, like in my case, it was adolescence, and it's so we have all new doctors now for my younger kiddo because they weren't listening to us. But they have her on the Abilify, and they actually had put her on Depakote and the Abilify to try to manage some things, but the Depakote wasn't working, so they took her off of that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, it's worked great for her.
Oh, good.
So I hope it works for you as well as it has for her.
Yeah, and so that the only reason it has me like is kind of another reason about kind of watching what you drink with the and I'm looking at April's comment and I'm going to pin it because that's going to kind of lead us into, because we kind of there we go. Kind of got ahead of ourselves on this, but they said one of the things to watch out for with the Rexulti is, I guess it can increase suicidal ideations, which I haven't had in years and years, but I was like, I don't want to feel worse.
Yeah.
But and I only bring that up in going back to watching your intake of alcohol. If you have an issue with depression and you start drinking a lot of alcohol is a depressant, even though it makes us feel better, it can act as a depressant. So if you just want to watch, if you're already feeling bad and then you start drinking a lot, it's something you just want to watch. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit more, but before we get into all that, again, we want to reiterate, I think most of you are returning, except Tina, I don't think was here for our last mental health hangout. Just reiterate, we are not experts. Excuse me. Now the four of us on panel, and Mousey's going to share with us in a little bit, but I think I can speak for Mousey in saying, in addition to the three of us, again, we're not experts, but we all have our personal experience with mental health issues. And so we just wanted to open a space where we could come and talk about it, and feel free to talk about it and feel safe in talking about it. And Carly and Cass and I just wanted to, our goal was just to open that space. And, I'm sure there are other spaces on YouTube that do that. But we just wanted to have that here in our community, to where, once in a while we could just kind of hang out and talk about it and, be sounding boards for each other, be just that place where we can do it. So, whatever you see, if you see other people talking about medications, that's their own personal experience. Talk to your doctor or a doctor. If you have any questions about medications, and we will go from there. And before we get into, and tonight we just wanted to have this topic be specific. And, of course, if you have other issues you want to talk about with the group, we will do that too. But tonight we just wanted to focus on how to manage stress through the holidays, because not just the holidays, but even the winter season, because, statistics show, and I think we all personally can attest that it's a time of year that can
Seasonal depression.
What do they call it?
I just want to
Mood
sleep.
disorder. Yeah, it can, the holidays can, even with people who don't have diagnosed disorders, it can just be tough on people. So we just wanted to kind of focus on how we can manage getting through this season, and manage our go through it a little bit easier maybe. But before we do that, we want to welcome, I'm going to take, where'd it go? Okay. Go. Okay. Oh, I hid you. Hey, how'd I do that? I'm not trying to put your shopping list up there. There you go. Okay. We wanted to, and I think, again, for those of you who were here for our last one, I shared my story on our first mental health stream, and we welcome any of you who want to come and share your stories with us. Mousy reached out to us and wanted to share her story with us. So tonight we are welcoming Lil Mousey Girl, and we will put in her channel information in a little bit. But right now, we would like to welcome Lil Mousey Girl to share her story with you. So, Mousey, take it away.
All right. So, I've talked in different places about, how I suffer from anxiety and PTSD. And my PTSD actually came from the abuse of my first marriage. It was awful. I mean, he was abusive. He was a drug addict, and everything that was going on wrong with him, he took out on me. So, but my mental health problems, even before the PTSD, the anxiety started when I was about 12 years old. So, I've always had the issues with the depression and the anxiety. So when the abuse started, it got worse. But what made it a lot worse with my husband, my ex-husband, as he is now, is that it started during Christmas, of all times. The way me and him ended up even getting married, it was questionable. It shouldn't have even been allowed. And as I've said time and time again, Georgia has some really dumb laws. And they manipulated those laws in order for it to even be a thing that could happen. So me and my ex-husband actually got married in December. I believe it was December 4th of 1994. And I was 15 years old. I had not seen my parents for about 20 days at this point, or talked to them at all, anyone in my family, after me and him had been married. And my parents got the phone number to his home, our home, that we were now sharing, and they called me to tell me Merry Christmas. And that was essentially the start of the abuse right there, because he was mad that I would even consider still talking to my parents. And it makes Christmases hard when you think, that when it happened, when everything started to go downhill. It's like things were bad, but things got real bad at that point. And I was with this man for 3 years. Maybe 3.5 years total. And when I left, I didn't really know how to function anymore, because I was so afraid if I did something wrong, then, the way people would react was the way he would react. So I tried really hard to please people all the time. And when it came to Christmas, it's like I never enjoyed it for the longest time. So it's because I was scared. Like it's like holidays come around, it's like if I do something wrong, it's gonna start again, and I kind of got trapped in that sphere of fear kind of situation. You're just afraid. So the holidays for a long time were not fun for me. I did not know how to deal with them, and I just ignored them. And then I had my second child when I was 22. And I knew, I can't just not celebrate holidays. I have a kid again. Um, so it was very hard, but it was like I masked like a happy face for her, and I wasn't enjoying it. And it's like I would just, close myself off and more off, and I would get more and more depressed. And I didn't realize I was doing these things until about 2004. That's when I kind of realized that there was some real problems with myself. Like I knew I had the anxiety, I knew I had the depression, I didn't know I had PTSD. And that's when I found out I had PTSD was in 2004. So it took a long time and a lot of therapy for me to, eventually admit that I was afraid of Christmas. I was afraid of celebrating a holiday. And as I've said before, religiously, I don't even really celebrate um, uh, holidays so much for myself because I'm not a religious person. I do celebrate it with my kids because, they are, and my current husband is. Um, but I have found that I'm actually now able to enjoy the holidays, like doing the activities instead of just doing them because, I feel like I have to. I actually want to do them now. I'm not afraid of doing them. And if something doesn't go right, it's not going to be just, it's not going to lead to a whole disastrous meltdown of events that, I'm going to be the whipping ball for, like I'm not going to, yeah. I'm not very good at explaining things sometimes, but when you're constantly afraid of the holidays,
By the way, you're doing great, Mousy.
um, it makes it hard. Um, and especially if you don't have someone to talk to. And for me, actually finding a, a therapist and a psychiatrist, a place I had someone who I could finally talk to about it was probably, like I said, one of the best things I ever did. And even at the time, there was still a lot of stigma around it. Like, if you were seeing a therapist, this was early 2000s, there was still, people were not very accepting of it. But now it's like you have more options of finding help. And I am so thankful for that because people don't realize when there's trauma around the holidays, it can just it can ruin those for you. And the holidays, you should be able to enjoy them. And I know it's hard for everyone, but you just um you know finding just a space. That's why I was like really glad y'all were talking about this during the holidays, because if you can find a space, a person that understands what you're going through or just to have someone to talk things with that you can, feel comfortable with, it can just make everything so much better. And to have a support group or a support system, not even a support group because that's a different thing, but having a support system. I was really scared of relationships for a long time. And when I decided to get married, I for the second time, I was afraid of that. And we decided to get married. He actually proposed just after Halloween, and we got married on New Year's Day. So, I was able to take all of those bad things that had happened over the holidays, and yeah, I found a way to turn it around and make it into a more pleasant experience to where they don't scare me anymore. And, I'm not afraid of, what's lurking around the corner. And it's hard, like, I know everyone experiences like PTSD all the time, but like I get so paranoid that, you know, I'm doing something wrong and I'm going to make someone angry. And it's not comfortable feeling, and it doesn't happen all the time. And over the years, it has gotten easier to manage. And it's a lot of work, but I'm glad that I actually was able to realize I had the problem and work on it. And, you know, it's just nice that now I can finally, have the holidays again. Yeah, and I think people do tend to overuse that, like Grace said, they'll say they have it like at the drop of a hat. And yeah, I don't want to get into all that, but there's just I think if you are really struggling, the best thing that you could do is to get some help and find someone to talk to. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I'm not a doctor. I've been on a lot of different medications, and some of them worked and some of them haven't. It's finding what's going to make you feel better and get comfortable in the situation is it's not an overnight process, and I really wish it was, because you know so many of us are out here struggling, and it's yeah. But the good thing is like I said, I did have these bad experiences. Now I am finally enjoying the holidays again. And you know there's been years where I've been I haven't had any issues during the holiday. Everything has been fine. And then there's been times where I just haven't been into it, and it's okay. It really is. It's okay. But when I am having the harder times, that's when I do go and I find me someone that I can talk to, someone that I can say, hey, this is what's going on. But it was a lot of work. And yeah, that's really about all I got right now on that. But
Well,
So you,
who?
sorry, go ahead, Grace.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, so you said you were 15 when you first got married?
yes, I was 15 when I got married for the first time. Yes,
And so, because you're talking, don't want to like dox or anything, because you're talking about like Georgia laws. Did
yes,
you
yeah.
get
No, I'm
married?
fine with anyone knowing what state I live in and everything.
Okay. Well, because you were saying the law, like, was it like a law that how did it come about you guys getting married? I'm
Okay.
sorry.
In the state of Georgia, if you're going to get married under the age of 18, you have to have parental consent and you can get married.
Okay.
Now, there is a way if you are under the age of 18 that you don't need parental consent and you have to be pregnant. The and I was pregnant. So he came and he picked me up from school and he was like, we're going to get married. And I'm like, okay. And I wasn't exactly agreeing to it, but he wouldn't take me home. And every time I kept trying to leave, he kept dragging me back. It's like, so
So that alone was also that alone was
yeah.
probably traumatic because you're 15, you're
And I'm pregnant.
still, yeah, you're pregnant 15, and you're not even able to talk to your parents about it first
Yes.
and get some like parental advice or adult advice, like, because have you talked to your parents about it afterwards? Did they say they wouldn't have let you or would have talked you out of it?
Well, and like I said, I when I had found out, and I'm trying to, as a 15-year-old, handle that whole situation, which was
Yeah.
hard, as it, just not being 15 and pregnant is hard.
Yeah.
Um, when they found out, my mom wasn't specifically happy about it, but she wouldn't have, she would have essentially, she probably would have given consent for us to get married if that's what together we had wanted, but she wouldn't have forced me to get married to this guy or, to make any decisions that I didn't personally want to make. If that
Okay,
makes
that's good. Yeah, that makes sense. And would they have? Because I know a lot of like teenagers, especially around like early, like, oh my god, I was trying to think, like before, like when it was all about not really, you're not supposed to do anything before you're married, and it's really bad to get pregnant and before marriage, and all that. So I know like a lot of teen girls would either get kicked out. And so you think they would have accepted you, like let you stay
Oh yeah,
home?
my parents wouldn't have kicked me out.
Okay.
I don't think that would have happened.
You just
Um,
never got the chance to see that because you went and got married.
yeah, I think the thing was he was afraid at what my parents were going to do legally because of him, because he had lied to me, my sister, and my parents about how old he actually was.
Oh,
We thought he was 17 and he was actually 19 years old.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when
Yeah,
that,
so he was afraid because
yeah,
they could have done that.
yes. And he was afraid of the legalities of what was going to happen because of that. And
So he's like, okay, I better marry her before then they
yeah.
can't do anything.
And I had found out later on that him and his mother had actually, when they found out, had gone and, spoke to, to find out what the laws actually were. And like I said, they came up to my school and they got me. And they just, I was getting in the car with him thinking he was just picking me up from school
Like normal.
like
Yeah.
normal. And I had no idea the next week that was going to follow. So it's like it started, like I said, it started bad, and Christmas it got just worse because that's when the actual physical abuse started. So
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
it's hard to have a physically abusive relationship, especially like that one, and you actually can pinpoint the date that it snowballed.
And
So,
then, so when did you finally get a divorce?
um, we split up officially in 1998, and we were divorced in 1999.
Yeah, because I know you were saying that. So you guys, because you said 3 years. I didn't know if that was like if you're saying you guys were together 3 years before
No,
marriage. Okay.
total, like during our marriage, and like times like I would leave and like finally actually be able to leave him and then get pulled back in. Um, like the time period that we were technically fully together would have amounted to about 3.5 years.
Okay.
And then
Gotcha.
if you don't include like the times that I left him and then when we were getting divorced and leading up to that and everything. So um and
Yeah, that just had
I'm
to been hard though, like being a kid yourself, not having a kid and not knowing what to do, and then like got the person you're having a kid with, like, we're just gonna go get married. Like,
yeah,
what?
it's like you don't even have a decision and it's like I'm not going to jail, we're getting married, let's go. So it's
Well, you
like
should have thought about that before you lied.
exactly, it's like it wasn't, I'm not the one that lied about my age. He knew how old I was, you know like it was straight, like he knew I was 15. And yeah, so it was that that being like the start of my bad holidays, like when I was having the hardest times like mentally, started with 1994. And it's really bad when like the moment it changed, like when you went from being like a happy person to being someone that just wasn't their same self anymore.
Yeah.
So um but yeah, he was never okay. When it came to me, I was his punching bag, and when anyone else was around, he was the perfect kind of person, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
that's what they. Yeah, that's
kid
what they
who he
do.
was. And, as a 15-year-old, you don't know what's going on with this. You don't know, you don't know how to be, in a serious relationship. It was something that should have never been able to happen the way it happened. And like some people are like, there's no way that actually happened. I was like, you go back and look at the laws in Georgia in 1994, straight up legal what he did. So, and even being in a relationship after what was going on with my ex-husband was really hard because I was always afraid that they were just hiding who they really were from me as well. And it took a long time to learn to trust people again.
Yeah, I'm sure it did
Yeah.
because being like you said, being so young in the first place, and then after getting married, what you said you got married on December 4th,
Yes.
and then it started around uh Christmas is when
Yes.
like everything. That's the thing is like you. That's only what like 3 weeks
Yeah.
like of marriage, and like usually the honeymoon phase is supposed to last longer than that. So that's like
Yeah.
that was a big wake, like, oh my goodness, what the heck, who is this person, who did I even marry?
Yeah. It's like, what did I actually do here? It's like and like I said, I wasn't really given a choice in the matter. His mom, he was there, his mom was there, and they were like, we got to go get all this stuff. And I mean, they did some shady stuff because we had to get my birth certificate, my social security card, all of my documents.
How?
Well, she was able to get my birth certificate using my high school ID.
That shouldn't have even been allowed.
Today, it would not. Today, you could not
How?
do that.
That's not really, that's just a high school ID to say you go to that high school.
Exactly. But the vital records accepted it. Then she used the birth certificate to get my social security card, which now you can't even do that.
That's
So
the thing, is how is that even possible when you're a minor and she's not even related to you?
exactly. And I mean, she
Wow,
sweet
goodness.
talked these people into getting what she wanted from them, and it worked. I was even surprised. I was like, how did we just do that? And how was any of that legal?
Yeah, that shouldn't have been legal. I bet your parents weren't happy when they found out about that.
Oh no, they were not happy at all. And then she kind of got upset because once we actually were able to go, and like I said, it took a week like of trying to get all the documents together that they needed to be able to do this. She was she was kind of upset because after we had actually gotten the marriage license, then she had to find actually a someone who was, a clergy or a judge that would actually marry us. And I think she ended
Um,
up paying like a few $100s to a to someone to do it. I don't know if they were a retired judge or a clergy. I don't exactly remember how she knew them, but she paid for it and they did it. So, she got what she wanted. Her son didn't go to jail.
yeah,
And I think back about it and I'm like, "Oh my god, it's like, and it's like you don't think you're in danger because you know the people. And you don't realize that, you've just pretty much been kidnapped and you're told, "Hey, you're getting married." It's like, how does it go from that to that, and yeah, it I look back at it now and like because I'm much older, I can kind of laugh at it now, but back then it wasn't funny. It was very horrifying. And I guess the reason why I look at it like the way I do now is because I lived through it, and I made it out the other side of it. And
yeah.
I
And then
did it.
you took back your holidays. Yeah,
Yeah, I took back my holidays. I took back my life. You know,
yeah.
I and I'm serious. If y'all would have heard the things this man told me, he told me I was not even smart enough to work at a gas station.
So it was like verbal mental
Yeah.
abuse.
Oh, it was verbal abuse. It was mental abuse. It was physical abuse. And when I did get a job, I had to give him all of my money. But if I needed money for something, he wouldn't give me money for the things I needed. Like it was all, he controlled everything. So, like, if I needed to go to the doctor and I needed money for it and I didn't have a payday because he'd already taken my money, I would literally have to call my parents behind his back and get them to take me to the doctor. And I'm like, but we're supposed to be a married couple. And when I would question things, he would get mad. So it was a very hard existence for a while. And but yeah, the funniest thing he ever told me though was I was not smart enough to work at a gas station. And I was like, "Oh, let me show you now." And it's kind of like karma because like right now he's jobless and as of like a year ago I know he was jobless and sleeping on his mother's couch, and I don't we don't know where he is now. No one's been able to find him. And
Wow.
he can stay that way. Like I don't know where his family moved to anymore and I don't even care. So, and like when they like last year when they did tell me, where he was, and I thought about it a few months ago, and I finally went through and just all of them just blocked them, got them off my social media, and I was like, you know what, I don't need to know anymore, and I don't care anymore because you know what, this is something that should have been happened a long time ago. Like even like people who are mutual friends, because I didn't realize until social media happened how many people actually still knew this guy. So I'm, kind of glad that I cut a lot of those cords away too, because like that's like the last of it. Like I don't have to deal with this man anymore.
No,
So
you don't, because your child is old and is an adult, right? That you
yeah,
guys share.
she is. My oldest daughter is. She was born in '96. So, oh my gosh, I am so old. Oh wow. No, 95. She was born in 95, not 96. I'm so bad with dates. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's
she
up
is.
to
Ooh,
him. You don't have to deal with him. It's up to
yeah,
him
she doesn't even talk
to,
to him anymore.
yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying. It's up to them if they decide if they're going to have a relationship or not. You
yeah,
need to do what's best for yourself, and
exactly.
which you did.
And yeah, because yeah, it wasn't right to keep all those people that were just wanting to talk. Like the only time they ever talked to me is if like they wanted to tell me the gossip about him, and I didn't want to hear it anymore. I didn't want to hear it in the first place. So
Yeah,
uh,
so like that's good. You're thinking of yourself and your mental health, because, like you said, you don't have to deal with him anymore, and it's probably best for you mentally to be done with even those people. Because, like,
yeah,
what's the point? So yeah,
yeah,
you did get block them all. Don't mention, like, don't even talk with them.
yeah, and it's just for the best because and it would probably be around this time of the year, and it's kind of like do they just want to cause problems? It's like, but I'm just not. I am really a much different person than I was, 20, 27, 28 years ago when me and him were married. So, uh, yeah, but it wasn't a thing that happened overnight. But taking back your life is something that okay. Let's see what. Sorry, this just popped up on the screen, so I'm gonna stop and read it. Little Mouse Girl, do you think the biggest step in healing your mental health after leaving began with therapy? Yes, actually, I do. And like everyone called it when um when I did actually starting. It's kind of when I went crazy. I had a nervous breakdown. My dad had passed away. My marriage was just not. You know, we were splitting up. My dad had passed away, and I had just like lost my shit. Like I didn't know what to do. I was so full of like I was very overwhelmed, and I couldn't stop crying. I could not get my life together. I couldn't get my shit together. And they actually took me to the hospital, and that's when I started talking to them to a therapist at the hospital. And then it's like from there it just kept evolving, go to a therapist, see a psychiatrist, get on medications. And it's just constantly been that for, a while. I do still see a therapist twice a month just to talk things out. And am I perfect? No, no, I'm not. Um, am I, completely healed? I'll never be. I'm always going to have to work on myself and my mental state, to keep myself from falling back into the depression and everything. But it's better than where I was, and I don't want to be like that anymore because that I feel better now, and I like the way I feel now. So, you know, uh, but yeah, it I think actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. The first step in healing my mental health was actually just leaving.
Yeah.
Was taking that step to say I can't do this I can't live like this anymore.
That's when you got the strength to finally say I'm done.
Yeah.
And then you realize, okay, I need to do something for myself, and that's when you got the help you felt you needed.
And had my family, not cared about me, they wouldn't have seen me struggling at that point and been like, look, we're going to go get you some help. And that was when I realized, that everything he was saying to me was bullshit, because he was telling me that, no, he was the only one who cared about me. My family didn't care about me. They didn't love me, but yet they were always
Oh
the one
no.
that was helping me
Typical
back
abuser.
in,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you don't realize what you've actually gotten yourself into sometimes, I think, until it's too late. Or, you're too deep. Or they get their claws in you sometimes. So, and being young, it wasn't hard for him to do it. So, I've been, I'm very guarded around my kids now to make sure that, you know, they don't make the same mistakes. But, obviously I still let them make their own choices, but it's like I'm always watching. It's like, I'm always telling them, you can come and talk to me, and, you hope they actually believe you. And for the most part, they have, because when, my kids started having issues with depression, they came to me and we got them help. And, so I'm really glad. It did take them a while to actually be able to tell me, to come to me and tell me, hey, I'm feeling this way. But I'm glad they actually, did, so we could get them that help, so they didn't end up, seeking someone that was not good for them. So, but yeah, that's pretty much that's my story. And when it comes to the holidays, I pretty much just, if I can, I don't struggle with it as much mentally anymore as I used to. But again, that was therapy. And I try to do the things that I enjoy doing. And I would just say, and if you don't enjoy doing the things, don't push yourself to do things you don't enjoy doing. Find the things you do enjoy doing, and make sure you have, a support system, someone that can help you, or someone you can talk to. Um, that's my advice, at least. So, if that helps anyone, I hope it does.
Yeah, it's great advice. It's such great advice. It's on our slides.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Mousy.
Yes.
I
Thank you for
appreciate you coming
sharing.
sharing your story.
Yeah, it's not easy. Not
No,
easy at all
for
to
sure.
share your most vulnerable part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not easy. And for those who may think about doing it, or wanting to possibly do it, it's not easy, but in a way, it's a little bit freeing, because you one it, back at the beginning of when Massey was telling her story, it reminded me of something my psychiatrist said to me earlier this week, about, and I can't remember exactly how Mousy said it, but um, we have, these things in our past that own us, or like my psychiatrist said, they own us, or we can learn to own them. And by, sharing our stories, it's kind of a way we can learn to get freedom from them and start to own them. So just throwing that out there.
Oh, that's some really good advice.
Yeah. All righty. Well, for the next part, we just put together, and these are things that are probably not new, so they're not earth-shattering, and it's not meant to be, a completely exhaustive list, and it's not meant to discourage you from sharing. It's meant to just get conversation going on how to manage the holiday season, winter season, and just kind of, get through it better than maybe we have in the past, with some tips. So let us get that pulled up here. Mousy, do you want to stay up or do you want to go down? It's totally your choice.
I think I am going to go down.
Okay.
All right. Thank you
All right,
for
well,
having
thank
me. I
you.
do appreciate y'all letting me ramble.
No problem.
Oh,
Thank you for
Come
coming.
back anytime.
yep, welcome anytime. Thank you. All
Oh, no problem. But I will see y'all later.
right,
Good
see
night.
you in the chat.
It's okay. Alrighty. So, oops, I meant to put that up earlier, so I guess we'll have to. That was supposed to be up while Mousy was talking. My bad. Special guest, Lil Mousey Girl. Okay, moving on. All right. So, why are these times so hard? What are some ideas throughout? And like I said, these are not. This isn't meant to be an exhaustive list. So for you guys, why are these times? Do you find that they're harder than the rest of the year? And there's some. I only put 3 things up here. So
I honestly, it has nothing to do with the holidays for me. Well, kind of, because since I'm in customer service, we, I'm we get so many orders and mean customers that are yelling at you because we ruined their Christmas. And that alone, it's like I'm sorry that this happened, and I'm sorry you feel your Christmas was ruined, but I'm doing the best I can
Yeah,
to help you.
yeah,
Yeah, they like to say they'll say that too. Like, I know it's not your fault, but I'm just gonna bitch about it anyway.
yeah,
Like, I understand they want to be heard too. So I want to say for me, it's mainly like maybe I don't know if it has anything to do like that it gets darker early. There's not that much sun out, and like when it's raining, I just want to read a book and do nothing.
yeah.
And it's been raining for the last week.
Seasonal affective disorder is a real thing, and that has to do with less sunlight. I mean, it's a real thing.
I think there's around the holidays, there's too many expectations. Whether it's obviously if you're seeing family, there's the expectation of whether you're hosting or not. Maybe you're not getting along with family, and then it's like, okay, I'm expected to put on a happy face for people I can't stand. There's the expectation of like if you're single, you feel like you need to not be single or have someone to bring a Christmas dinner with. Buying gifts, making gifts, and then comes New Year's Eve where it's like, okay, now I got to make up resolutions for a whole new year. And then you might feel guilty if you didn't even accomplish the ones you made before.
Yeah.
So it's so much pressure, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't do the New Year's resolutions. That's just not what I don't.
I don't either.
Me neither.
And like Mousy said family issues, April said family issues, Claire said not being able to get together. And our family issues, they can be kind of, I don't want to say all over the map, but some family issues can be because we can't get together, like Claire says, we can't get together with our family. Or some of our family issues can be because we have to get together with our family. So it's
you don't like.
Yeah, like it's just all of, there's just different things that can be triggering and stressful for us. Do you hear feedback from me, you guys?
I don't.
Okay. All right. Because I thought it was going to not come up on these headphones, and I'm starting to hear it. And grief is another one, and April is dealing with that. Like, I don't want to. I don't know if immediate grief is the right word, but it may be the first Christmas or the first holiday season that you're going through without a loved one, and April's is like, raw, like really raw.
Yeah, I'm
And
so
that's,
sorry, April, for your
yeah,
loss.
yeah. So, yeah, so there's so many things and different pressures, and it's hard on us when we don't have depression or anxiety or PTSD or whatever. Those are the kind of things we say the most here, but it's not an exclusive list. There could be a lot of other things we have going on. And so when you add these things on top of it, it's just so much, our coping mechanisms are already kind of, the tank is already a little bit low. And so you add these things on top of it, and it's even harder. So.
Yes.
And then, I should have gone through Carly. I think Carly said the high expectations. And then on the other side of that is then sometimes we get disappointed either with ourselves or with others. Claire's talked about the isolation because we can't get together. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Cass? Cass?
Sorry, I got like a phone call right as I was talking.
Okay.
I had to decline it real quick. I was saying she also even brought up how like when you're, or what did you bring that up? Shoot. See, I'm like where you're single and you feel like you have to get with somebody because that's loneliness. And then like Claire brought up not being able to go to gatherings. That feels like isolation.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe you don't have any family anymore, or you're estranged from your family, or in kind of going along with what in Mousey's situation where she was married and had small kids, but she was kind of estranged from her family, and in a marriage where she probably still felt lonely in that marriage because of the stuff going on. So
yeah, that's the thing too is, just because you do have like the loneliness, that's another thing. Just because you do have somebody doesn't mean you're not like,
absolutely,
like not every relationship is perfect, no, but yeah, sometimes it's just, you're still lonely in the. I can give examples, not on myself, but my family in general when it comes to marriages. I would just say that for another day.
Okay. So, how do we manage? Like, what are ways we can make things a little bit better, a little bit easier to get through all of this? And again, this is not an exhaustive list, and I am going to, if you're interested, I have several articles that I will put in the community tab if you want to read them later, that will expand on some of the things that we have here just listed. You can go ahead and read them if you'd like to, like I said, and they'll go a little bit deeper into some things and have even more ideas that we get to. I thought I had modded you, Teresa. I thought I had seen you here blue before. Well, that's dumb. We'll fix that. I don't have my other phone with me. Carly, are you in Shenanigans right now?
Yes.
Can you mod Teresa?
Yes.
She's supposed to be a mod. Thank you. All right. So the first thing is to make your mental health a priority. So what are some ways you think you could just throw some ideas out there? How does making it a priority, how does that sound to you, or what does it mean for you to make it a priority?
Now, this one I'm still working on, but saying no or just kind of realizing I don't need to do as much as I think I need to do. So, like what I was telling you earlier, like I'm so overwhelmed with what I have to do for family coming and just Christmas in general. So, what I'm going to do probably tomorrow, just write down everything I think I need to do and maybe eliminate half of it.
Yeah.
Maybe more than half, but yeah. So yeah, just
those are all good things.
Yeah, because like I was saying, how the just putting so much pressure, it's like no one's making me do it. I'm doing it to myself. So if I can make myself stressed, I can make myself unstressed.
Yes. Those are all good things. Yeah.
Exactly, Juju. I say no to so I don't really see my family for good reason.
Yeah. Yeah, these are all really good things, and they're all we're going to find these all on the list. Having a brain fart. Mousy said one when she was talking multiple times, she talked about finding a support system, talking to people. All of these things are really good. All right. So, and these are not necessarily in any particular order, but I think one and this isn't just for this time of year, but when things tend to get a little hectic, I think it is good that we pay attention to our symptoms and manage them early. And I think when I was typing that out, that to me, I think that can look different for different, like for anxiety and depression, that means kind of a couple of different things to me. Like for depression, and particularly if you, oh, that's a good one right there. And that is not on the list. And before I go into what I was just starting to say, this isn't on the list, but it is in the articles, and it talks about kind of basic self-care, like getting plenty of sleep, staying hydrated, exercising, eating, which it's the holidays, but eating, how we say it, like eating well, not all, just
So I can't eat the
existing on
cheesecake I
sugar
have
and
in there.
alcohol. So
I found that cheesecake in the fridge. What am I going to do with it?
You just don't make that breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next 2 weeks. And they're talking about, like, if you pay attention to those things, as basic self-care, of course, it's the holidays.
Putting a bra on will make you feel better sometimes.
Well, I have found that is true.
Yeah, I know.
I hate it.
I know.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you went somewhere when you put a bra on. Because usually when you don't have a bra on, you don't go anywhere.
Yeah. But it's just basic general care that, as much as my mother used to tell me, no matter, if I had a headache or a stubbed toe, her answer was drink a glass of water. But when we stay hydrated, we generally feel better. So it does talk about those basic things.
Yeah. And like with the plenty of sleep, I have noticed though, even though it feels like I can never get enough sleep, even though I sleep sometimes through the night, I notice if I don't get enough sleep, like if I go like too many days with only like 4 hours of sleep, I can start noticing and feeling the toll it's taking on me as far as mentally. I'm like exhausted. I just want to sleep all day, and then I'm also forgetful. Like I don't feel like all there, like foggy. I don't know if I'm making any sense. About that.
The opposite of that, though, is if you're sleeping too much, pay attention to that and try to get a hold of those things early. But like, for example, one thing, with the depression, and sleeping too much or not sleeping enough, pay attention to those symptoms, try to work on those as best you can. And all of these, any of these things that we're talking about, don't ever feel like you have to manage them all completely on your own. And if you can't, then, oh, well, always reach out to a friend, talk to your support system, and reach out to a professional. There is zero shame in that game. Zero. And if we get any message across, Mousey said this more than once, that, back when she was younger, there was a stigma. Like, we hope that, we can continue to remove the stigma. There's no shame in counseling. Everybody can use, benefit from counseling. It is like talking to your paid best friend. That's what we call
very rich,
very rich best friend.
Yeah. Best friend. Yeah, exactly.
Depends on their degree, how rich they are. But it's, all they do is kind of guide you when you're talking. They're not shrinking your head. That's your psychiatrist. Therapist, everybody could benefit from. But so if you start to see an amplification in your symptoms, try to manage them early before they get way out of control.
Well, technically, if your system's on overdrive, help yourself, get some sleep.
Right. But again, it depends on what you're looking at. You can either not get enough sleep or sleep too much. So it just depends on what you're looking at. In terms of anxiety and depression, again, and this is another one. I should have had this here. If you are starting to feel isolated, your depression is, thoughts of depression are increasing. Your thoughts of self-harm are starting to just, maybe inch their way in. Get a hold of those before they start to escalate. And again, reach out. As far as anxiety goes, managing your symptoms, I think one of the biggest ones is know your triggers and figure out how to work around them.
Yeah, know that if you're getting anxiety because you're watching a live stream of people just yelling back and forth at each other, maybe it's best for you just to leave that live.
Yeah.
Because I just can't take like the whole yelling, like calling each other. It's like, this is just like I don't want to listen to this. So leave. And that's what I've been doing lately.
We at some point, we again, then that goes with it's somewhere, it might be the next slide. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. And I want to do kind of a whole string on that, but Mousey talked about this. Surround yourself with a support system. And this can be, you don't have to have a whole team. It could be your one person that you go and talk to, that and trust, or it could be, your team of professionals. It could be your best friend. Just have that one person or your people that and trust when you just need that person to talk to. Have them there.
Even if it's in the middle of the night while they're at work.
Yep. Yeah. Tell them,
Call my husband in the middle of the night.
I just need to talk. Yeah.
Yeah, he always answers and he knows.
And
he'll
and
just
I thought
ask.
it was next. Okay, or not next. We're going to make it next. We're going to go out of order. Set healthy boundaries. And this is not always easy. But setting healthy boundaries is a really good thing to do. And what Cass just talked about is learning to set a healthy boundary. If that does trigger you, being in a live stream and I used to watch a television show. I can watch it now, but it used to, one of my shows, I realized it was making me agitated and anxious. And I had to stop watching it for a long time. But it took me a while to realize it was actually doing that to me. So, and those
Work
are,
makes me agitated and
yeah.
anxious too, but nothing I can do about that. I gotta work, gotta get that money.
Well, there are, that's not entirely true. If you can find a way to not, if your work truly is making you anxious and agitated and it's causing extreme mental health issues, you do need to take care of yourself. So find a way to do that, and I would talk to a professional about that. Because we don't want to downplay if something is truly causing you harm, even if it's mental harm, you do need to take care of yourself. So,
yeah, it's usually just around this time of year that I get agitated. I just want to yell at the customers, but I can't yell. I can't, no matter how much I try.
Yeah. Setting healthy boundaries with, even with family members, that's a really hard one. But around this time of year, does anybody have, I don't want to make you put anybody on the spot. And again, I feel like we're just kind of lecturing you right now, but we do want this to be interactive.
And the one that Carly's working on, the Just Say No.
Yeah, that is, healthy boundaries can be just saying no to that one more party you just don't want to go to.
Yeah, Carly, don't go.
Yeah. If it's a social anxiety issue and you just don't want to go, don't go.
Even if it's in your home and you're the host, just go to your room.
Yeah.
Show up. No, go away. Like the invite was a joke.
Yeah. I'll just give you an example. At Thanksgiving, my brother and his family came out, and they were all staying at my mom's house. She lives about 45 minutes away from me. That's a healthy boundary right there. But my mom wanted me to stay up at her house with all of them, and I love them to death. But there was no way I was going to do that for a few different reasons. And so I got a hotel for 2 nights in her town up there, and I didn't tell her because my boundary was I didn't want to stay there, but I didn't want to drive back and forth, both days. But I knew if I told her I was getting the hotel, it would just create an issue. So setting the boundaries is knowing what you want to do. I don't owe her the explanation. She's not paying for it. So, you get to set we're all grown adults. We get to set our boundaries. If you don't want to go, if it's too much for you to do XYZ, you can set that boundary. It's okay. Saying no is a complete sentence. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Plus, hotels are just better. Yeah. I think hotels are better depending on what family you're seeing, because you can kind of wake up when you want, go to bed when you want, just take it slow. It's quiet.
Yes. Yeah, I go to bed early. I wake up early. They all wake up at like noon. I'm like, it's 8 a.m. Why isn't everybody up? And yeah. And plus, I didn't want to sleep in the bed with 2 other people. So, no thanks.
No. Hard pass.
So, 2 other people and a dog. No. Okay.
In one bed?
Yes. No. Like, So.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Identifying your triggers. This goes for both, depression and anxiety, but particularly for anxiety. If you know what they are, and sometimes we don't, but I'm not sure if Mousey is still dealing with cat stuff, but particularly as somebody who has PTSD, it's one of the hallmarks of PTSD is avoiding triggers. and avoiding situations that will trigger the things that bring back the memories, the emotions, the flooding back, and that can bring all of those things flooding back from those past situations. So knowing the triggers and avoiding them is a coping mechanism. But whether or not you have PTSD, if you have anxiety, knowing what triggers that, trying to, work. If you don't exactly know, trying to work on that is a good thing to do. December for me, Mousy and I both have struggled with December. She didn't know that, but I had my home invasion happen in December. So Sunday nights in December are particularly hard because mine happened on a Sunday night. So I know Sunday nights are hard for me. So I give myself a whole lot more grace on Sunday nights. Can't avoid them. Can't avoid going to sleep on Sunday nights, but I know how to manage them.
Right.
If you know, again, if you have social anxiety and you know that there is a big family gathering, find a person in your family that knows about can kind of be your buddy through the situation, or sit at the kids' table, or figure out if it's a triggering situation, find a way to set up a coping mechanism to help you through it.
You brought up the kids' table. I think I was reading an article where now it's a thing where why is there a kids' table? Why are the kids being
there's no
singled
room.
out? Yeah, I know. The kids don't have a problem with the kids' table because you're sitting there and talking to kids your age or close to your age, and not having to deal with the boring adult conversation.
Yeah.
I would go sit at the kids'
more
table.
Fun. Yeah, when we were on the cusp, we always when we were like in our 18, 19, 20, we always went back with the kids because they were way more fun.
Yeah. But kids say some craziest things.
Yeah, they do.
Hilarious.
Yep. Yep. Let's see. I think we talked about asking for help and just saying no. And let's see. Oh, that was it. Yeah. Okay. So, what else do you guys use to help you get through? Oh, one thing that we did I pass it, was the financial struggles, because those are real. Did I pass it up here? I thought I put it on here. Financial struggles are a real struggle during the holidays. There's expectations of, do you have to buy everybody a gift? Do you have to buy an expensive gift? Do you have to travel for the holidays? And that can go into the just say no, like, know what you can do, set a budget, don't go over your budget, make a plan. A lot of things, making a plan, even if you're not a weirdo like me who likes to make plans and lists, can be helpful to help you work your way through all of the crazy holiday stuff.
And if you don't have money at all, you cannot afford it, do not be ashamed or feel you have to be purchasing a bunch of people's stuff. I grew up with my parents doing that because on my dad's side, it was a whole thing about getting everyone gifts, mainly the kids' gifts or the grandparents. And my mom, they didn't make that much money. We were a paycheck to paycheck family, and I noticed the struggle, and people seriously go into further debt around the holidays, and it's not going to help you financially or mentally.
No, and what
Yeah,
it will
exactly.
do, yeah, and what it will do
Juju.
if you're going into debt to pay for gifts, first of all, a lot of those gifts by the middle of the year, people have moved on from, but that debt is staying with you for
Exactly.
probably, most of the year, if not longer. So,
Or if you buy an outfit for someone, they don't like the outfit, they're just gonna return it
yeah,
and get the money, get a
yeah,
gift card. And okay, that's nice that they have a gift card, they can go get whatever they want, but
yeah,
you still got that debt.
yeah. If it's feasible and
Just get a
finances
gift
are an
card.
issue, or rather than do that, do spend time with somebody, you know,
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
do lunch, buy a lunch,
Yeah.
um, or you figure out how, some way to spend time with them. It just make an experience rather than feel pressure to spend money, or
exactly.
Create
just,
memories.
yeah, create memories. Or what, if the situation is not something that you would want to create memories with that person, if it's just random whatever, um, no is a complete sentence.
Hmm.
um and we haven't really tapped into, and this goes back to setting healthy boundaries. We're not going to talk about it really too much unless you want to, but you know there can be relationships in the family, you know from back in the past, that are not people you want to see in your life for various reasons.
Hmm.
And it's okay if you find out they're coming to the family gathering and they trigger you. It's okay to say, I'm going to pass this one up. And
Or what you could do
you
is you can go in the bathroom, close the door, and jump out the
kick out
window.
the screen.
Yes, kick out the screen and run.
Yes, and you would not be the asshole.
No, you would not
Yeah,
be the
we've
asshole.
declared that already, so it's fine. Um, but yeah, I think especially here on YouTube, we have fallen into this pattern where we feel like we owe this giant dissertation of an explanation for everything that we do. No, you don't.
Yep.
You can say, I'm going to skip this one, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I've told you guys about my husband's family. Well, not all of them, but a couple in particular. They're all, because we moved out of state. So they're always asking, when are you guys going to visit? Are you going to visit soon? But they never say, like, they'll come here. So I'm always irritated when they ask, because it comes off as like they don't take into consideration that it's like we don't live around the corner anymore. It takes time, money, like so much just to go. Well, anyways, one of his aunts said, "Are you guys gonna make it this way for Christmas?" And like, I didn't even respond because all I did was say, "Hey, can I have your address to send a Christmas card?" And then it's, "Oh, are you coming this way for Christmas?" And I wanted so bad to just go into a spiel about whatever, but then I said, "You know what? I'm just not going to respond." And I felt better not
Yeah.
responding than getting myself like just pissed off about it. And I've explained many times, like, it depends on like my husband's schedule, my kid's schedule, like money, like gas these days is not cheap. So,
no,
and
No.
and it's like, also there was never like even an invite for us to go out there. So it's like, why are you expecting us to always make the trouble and make the trip? And then I also feel guilty because I feel like I'm saying you're not good enough to plan to see, but I don't know. I just hate that they don't take into account how hard it is when they don't even make the same effort to try to come
yeah,
see us.
That's the thing, because that can go, yeah, both ways, because you can pretty much say, well, because they don't come and see you, so it's like, are we worth their for them to take the time to plan?
Yeah.
You said that they're like, what is it, like a 7-hour drive?
Try 14.
Oh, geez, why was I thinking 7? So it's a 14-
Oh,
hour
that's my
drive.
in-laws. My in-laws is like half the drive. but they reciprocate.
Oh.
Like they've come here, we like it's equal, but all the family back home is like, when are you guys gonna come visit us? It's like, are you serious? Because those
When you
trips
gonna pay for my
alone-
ticket? My
yeah,
plane ticket.
yeah, because those trips alone are just. Have you ever gone on like a quote vacation, but then come home and you're like, I need a vacation to recover from that
From your vacation. Yeah.
so-called vacation? And it's not a vacation when we're there, and it's always like, come see us, because where we'd be staying if we did go all the way back home, the aunt that invited, like, she's an extra 3-4 hours on top of that.
Oh,
So
geez.
like, no. And it's
On
like,
top of the 14-hour one?
yeah. And then
Oh
it's
my
like,
goodness.
we have to do that. Just, it sounds bad, but like just to have a dinner or just to be like, hey, nice seeing you. What's going on? Like, we can do that over Zoom. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I get frustrated.
Or meet halfway somewhere, like plan to go on a trip together, like do something to where it's not.
Yeah. Or
like
a couple of like the cousins have come to my state in a different part and then didn't even try to meet up. So that's why I kind of.
Oh, that sounds like my
boundaries.
brother-in-law.
Yeah, because we're talking about boundaries. Like my new boundary is I'm giving out the same effort that I'm getting. So that way I'm not going to even be mad. I'm just going to be like, you know what? It is what it is. We're going to focus on us. When we want to do whatever we want with our time, that's going to be it.
Yeah. Yeah, like my brother-in-law does that. He makes a lot of money, and him and his wife like travel a lot. They moved to Dominican Republic not too long ago, and they would come and visit her family, but wouldn't really even visit my mother-in-law. And it's like, how are you gonna sit there and go and visit your wife's family, but don't even visit your mother? Like, that's just messed up.
Exactly.
See how your mom's doing, and it's just, I know what's hurtful for her too, especially if she finds out. And it's like, I just feel so bad because like that's just so messed up. And then when they went to New York, they didn't even go, because that's where my husband's from. They didn't even go and visit when my husband's grandmother was still alive. They didn't go. He didn't go visit his grandmother, and he didn't go visit his aunt that they were close with. He was close with growing up. He didn't even. I don't even go. We can go into what. My husband doesn't have a relationship with him at all. He cut ties with him around the time we met.
Yeah.
Because he just doesn't. He's this type that is pretty much like he's just done. Like if you do too many things as far as like the whole he was got the okay to go use like borrow a car or something, and his brother, I don't know, was like, nope. And it's all because his wife said no. And he's like, I don't need nothing from you. I don't want anything from you. I'm just done. Like, you don't do, like, they weren't close. They weren't really close anyway. So, but yeah, it's just, he knows his boundaries, is what I'm pretty much trying to say. He's always known his boundaries. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just, it just sucks when you got family that, like, meets. Like, when my mom and Nana and them go to Disneyland, they sometimes will try to even go and visit my Nana's sisters because that's where my mom's from. My mom's from LA. So like that's where all my Nana's family, most of her family is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then yeah, but it's like it's not just like a one. It's two sides. Like as far as like
give and take.
Like I have stopped talking to people because it's like if I realize I'm the only one that's reaching out, seeing how they're doing, trying to contact them, calling them, and they're not even calling me anything, they'll answer my calls and stuff. Yeah, that's fine, but it's like you're not making the effort I'm making, so what's the point? Like I don't talk to them. I was close to my cousins. We were so close growing up, but we don't even talk anymore.
Yeah, it's really sad.
It is. But what can you do? Like, we're all like adults now, have our own thing going, but I was always the one reaching out to them, trying to set up, like, hey, let's get together. And it's like, they didn't even bother trying. So I was like, why am I going through all this effort to speak to someone that it just doesn't feel like it matters to them? So I just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of, that's another thing. So I kind of just knew when to like say, okay, well, I'm just like done with the, not really done with the whole like relationship. Just like, until you put more effort into it, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna put the effort I'm putting into it. Like if they like, I'll still talk with them, we'll still text here and there, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to try to hang out like we used to.
Nope.
So, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, getting off topic. Sorry, Grace. Why
Oh,
didn't you just step
you're
in?
not off topic. You're fine.
Well, we're doing a slide. We're doing a slide. We're supposed to be
Well,
doing
we
a
we
slide.
went through all the slides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if you had to go back to one, but I think you did go back to what, the financial one.
No, I was looking for it. I didn't see that I had it on there. So
Oh yeah. But yeah, family can be wonderful and can suck at the same time.
For sure.
well, I mean, we all can suck. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I
yeah.
know I'm not perfect as far, but I just know, like, just gotta learn our boundaries.
Yeah,
So
and
you're hosting this year, Carly. Sorry, go ahead, Grace.
no, I was just going to say boundaries can be hard to set.
They
Just
can be.
initially, they can be hard to set, but the hardest ones to set are the ones that tend to get pushback because
Mm-hmm.
people don't like to have them set against them, if that makes sense. So,
Exactly. Yeah, the pushback, or
yeah,
they're not getting their way,
right.
and that's a big no for some people.
Yeah. But your worth, you're worth it. You're worth
Exactly.
the work and the taking a stand for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I was gonna do, I was thinking too, is when we're talking about like uh, doing something for yourself, as far as like how I said, even just putting a bra on, even just brushing your hair, because
Yeah.
do your hair, like maybe do something different with it, like put
Yeah.
it up, put it down, do something, like maybe just dress up nicely. Like, see, with us, hey Liam,
Hi,
how you
Leah.
doing? Like, since, like I was saying, like with us, since like we work from home, and then Carly, you pretty much, you're a stay at home mom,
Yes.
wife.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put your business out there.
No, you're
Sorry. So, but that's what I'm saying. So we're usually homebodies, like we're home all the time. So we don't really get into the, oh, I need to get dressed mindset. So
Mhm.
I've noticed that, like, there's times where it's like I don't want to do it. I just too tired. I just don't feel like doing it. But when I do, it makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Sorry, Juju. What Juju saying? Oh, that's
She
right. It's morning for him.
yeah, Juju, her what she's saying is that if you set the boundaries and people don't respect them, that it's basically saying, they don't respect you, and
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
that's true. Like my mother doesn't respect the boundaries that I've set, and well, I
You're
mean,
still working on like that type of. You're still working on that, right?
oh yeah,
That's why. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, did you ever bring? What'd you end up taking for Thanksgiving?
Um.
Nothing.
Yourself.
Oh yeah, she wanted. Oh yeah, I was supposed to take the pies, and then so I ordered all the pies, and then she said, no, don't bring the pies because her friend wanted to make the pie. And so, okay,
I don't need all this pie, so I'm going to cancel the order.
Yeah, so I canceled the orders. And then I said, well, I can do something and make it there. And she's like, no, we're fine. We have everything we need. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, fine. And so then I get there and she was like, there, oh, I noticed there was like a half of a pumpkin and half of a pecan pie on the counter. And I was like, did they deliver the pies anyway that I canceled? And she's like, oh no, we went and got pies. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought your friend was bringing pie. She's like, well, she might bring a pie. But I thought we should have more pie. And I was like,
oh my.
I mean, that's just typical. That's typical. Like, that's just typical. I'm like, okay.
Did she say, and what did you bring?
She made a comment and I was just like, I asked more than once. So, I mean,
go back to my hotel room. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yep. That's another reason I had the hotel room, because it's like, that way I can leave when I'm ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So he's about to ruin Thanksgiving over pies.
Yep.
That's the most important part of the meal, is the pie.
Yep.
No,
that's where I exit stage left, because I don't like pumpkin pie. I like everything pumpkin except pumpkin pie. I just can't. And I can go the rest of my life without ever eating pecan pie again. No. Nope. It's just gooey, gelatinous yuck.
What about sweet potato pie?
We just never really made that in our family.
I never had it either until my mother-in-law made it, and I actually have some in the fridge right now, on top of the cheesecake that I have in there.
Juju, I grew up really not liking Thanksgiving food other than turkey and mashed potatoes. I mean, who doesn't like mashed potatoes? But I like eat the gravy. I don't like really gravy on anything because it always had chunky things in it. Like,
I'm learning more about you that, like, I don't know how we're friends.
Okay. And so here's like, okay. Like, I love my mother despite some stuff. Like, my mother is like, has done the whole narcissistic abusive thing, and okay, but I still love her. But her cooking is, and she'll tell you this herself, that she's an average cook at best. So, okay. So for Thanksgiving, like, I hated sweet potatoes until I was like 30, because the only time I ever had sweet potatoes or yams was at Thanksgiving when they were covered in marshmallows and brown sugar, and that was disgusting.
No,
like, it's still
so
disgusting.
good.
No, okay, I don't like that. Hi, Becky.
Hey, Becky. Thank you.
I first read that wrong, and I thought she said she just got hit by a car. I was like, what? But glad you're getting
like, why are you messaging in here? You better
why are you telling us? But I'm glad you're just getting in the car. So I didn't like sweet potatoes because those are disgusting. And then we always had this weird, like, green Jell-O salad with pineapple. Didn't like that. We've already covered the pies. Mashed potatoes were fine, except I always managed to get mine before they put the gravy with chunky stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't like the gravy. I know what you're talking. The gravy with the chunky stuff. No, I like. No. It has to be like smooth. Like, yes. Smooth gravy.
Yes, I can do smooth gravy, but not, or sausage gravy, like Southern sausage gravy. I can do, but not giblet gravy. I mean, get that nasty out of my face. And then, I just lost it. What was the other the stuffing. I don't know what my mom does for stuffing, but I hate it.
I love stuffing.
Hate it.
I just did the box stuffing.
I think it's like a pointless side dish. Like, I can take.
Oh my goodness.
My sister-in-law.
We're gonna have to fight on our mental health day, because you two talking about my stuffing is not. No. I love
Is that
stuffing.
your favorite thing?
My sister-in-law
yes.
makes really good stuffing, and that's when I learned to like stuffing. Ugh.
Yeah, as long as I have my pumpkin pie, I'm like good. And
Cream
potatoes.
cheese in your potatoes? Oh no.
I've
Did
done
you
that. It's
know?
actually pretty good. Or sour cream.
Sour
It's
cream is different. And
with
butter, of
the cream
course.
cheese,
But
like it helps. Well, like with texture, but it adds like a. I don't know how to explain it, but it's good in mac and cheese too.
So Liam brings up another thing. So all the vegetables I ever grew up with, I never really liked either because the way they were cooked and presented, something was always not okay. Like either way overcooked or so like Brussels sprouts. So every Brussels sprout ever presented to me was like a mushy mini
oh yeah.
cabbage. It was like this is this nasty. And then as an adult, I had them like roasted, and now I love Brussels sprouts. But okay, when I tell you my mother was like average cook at best, so I didn't like broccoli until 6th grade when I went to my best friend Christy Brown's house. I probably just doxed my best friend. Sorry, Christy Brown is the average name. So, and her mom
Just like
served me.
Charlie Brown is.
Nah, no relation to Charlie Brown. She served steamed broccoli that was green and not like pale army green. It was bright green, and it just had like salt and pepper on it, which was like weird to me because in my house, it was like army green and came with a plop of mayonnaise on it.
Ew.
That's how we had broccoli
Mayonnaise.
my whole life.
Oh.
And I hated it because
No
gross,
wonder.
because vegetables were always screwed up.
Like not normal.
Not normal. Yeah.
Okay, I have a friend
I'm
who's
horrified. I'm sorry. I'm horrified.
I was too when I
Mayonnaise.
realized what had happened to me my whole life.
Oh my goodness. Mayonnaise. I'm not really a big mayonnaise fan anyway.
I'm not either.
But who decided it ever went on broccoli?
Someone that
Your
Apparently
family.
my mother.
Like I like it in like potato salad, pasta salad, but I'm not a fan of it like by itself. Like on sandwiches or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked broccoli. Like I can eat plain broccoli. Like I love it.
I don't like
And then get some nice melted cheese over it. Yummy
every
cheese.
time my husband eats it cooked, I sniff for a second. I'm like, who farted? Oh wait, that's your. He's like, what? Like, get away from me! I can't do it. And he loves the cream of broccoli soup, homemade. So I make it for him, but the house stinks all day as it's eating.
Yuck.
Like, you're lucky I love you, or else this shit would be in the garbage.
Yeah,
Get your broccoli out of my crock pot.
That's the thing. Like my mom, she's not bad. Like she cooks good, but she just cooks like the basic stuff. Like she does spaghetti, and she does. It's called taco salad, but it's
Yum.
not. It's how she makes it. It's the beef. It's beef, refried beans, guacamole, sour cream, and cheese with olives on top. That's how she makes
delicious.
it.
That's kind of how my mom made it with olives, which I hate.
It is good. And the thing that's nice about that one is obviously she cooks the meat first because you don't want to and then she'll usually put it in the oven to melt the cheese. Or if it's hot, you can even eat it without. Or you can even just put it in the microwave, but she didn't like doing that. Or you just eat it without the melting the cheese, because if you put cheese, eventually melts anyway. Oh, because the meat's steamy, and And then she actually makes really good enchiladas and really good enchiladas. I never appreciated them growing up, but I do miss them now. So, but yeah, she makes really good enchiladas.
Now I'm getting hungry.
I know, right? I know. I just had some leftover hamburger helper. Yum.
Baby. Oh, okay. Well, I think that probably about covers everything. No, I'm just kidding.
I think so.
Wow.
That really just scratches the surface. Like I said, I will definitely on the community page put up links to those articles that are a good resource.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are we doing next week? Did we ever
I don't know.
decide?
What are we doing next week?
I forgot what we were talking about. I thought we were gonna. What were we talking about? Next week will be the 20th, right? 20th?
Weren't we doing
Yes.
a game night of some
Were we
sort?
gonna, did we talk about flipping something?
I thought it
Yeah,
was
because
flipping
I thought we were going to do games this week, and then we flipped this for games, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
think we were talking about doing games, but I thought there was something else. Because when we're talking about doing something else, and I totally forgot what we were talking about doing. I know games was like the number one thing. What about any award shows?
Oh, there's plenty of award shows coming.
Okay, so there hasn't been any to do roast.
Where's my mousy? I mean, my mouse, not mousy. She's there.
You're mousy.
Not well. Just more Juju's mousy. Okay, so yeah, then it will be the 27th. So, yeah, that'll probably be.
Well,
I imagine it'll be a light week.
Okay, so I think we should do game.
Yeah, it looks like everybody wants games.
Yeah, so we'll do game nights next week, and then maybe on the 27th we can do like a New Year's trivia or like something like that.
Yeah,
something to do with New Year's or talk about New Year's history, something.
And I'm not at all opposed to doing games 2 weeks in a row, since it's likely to be light attendance for could be heavy travel weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, yeah, because people are probably just getting back. Because I know, because Christmas is on a Sunday, I know banks are closed on Monday.
Yeah,
to take the extra day, and so it's like some places are getting like an extra day.
Yeah, not us.
I know, not me. I'll be working on the 26th. I will be at work getting those calls from the customers that are not happy with their gifts that they got.
Rude.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm telling you, the stuff I have to hear from these customers, it's like, what other people are going through right now, and you're gonna yell at me because you didn't get your matching pajama set.
I want to find a way, and I don't know how we can do it, to see if we can do team trivia here, but I don't know how we can do that. But I'm trying to think of a way. I know Juju wants to do it where we go against each other in streams, but we're still trying to work that out. But if we could do it here, but I don't know how we can. Yeah. But at any rate, we did get a new what's it called? Jackbox. So we will have some extra games and probably pick up
murder trivia one was pretty fun.
Yeah,
I love murder trivia. That's one of my favorites.
I love his. I don't know why I think the guy's hilarious.
He's so graphic, but he talks about it so serious.
Yeah, yeah. But the one I have never laughed so hard at was the one, and I can never figure out the title of it, and I'll have to ask. Claire probably knows. The one where you're on the like the space station and you're trying to figure out
Oh, the alien one.
yeah, the one where you and
Yes.
the time I played it, you and Claire were the aliens.
Yeah.
That
On,
one
where's she
makes me
play with
laugh my butt off.
I know. Yeah, that one's pretty fun too. It does. It is. That one is more like as far as
Yeah. That one I
as
think
far
is probably more fun to play in Discord than here, but that's so funny. That's Among Us?
No, not the Among
Oh.
Us one. It's like Among Us.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Among Us.
Oh,
okay.
Gremlin wants to play.
Among
Aw.
Us is a game.
Yes, I know.
Gremlin's like, I will teach you guys.
Right? He's like, I'll come play. I'll take over the
Yep.
stream.
Yep.
I don't remember what it's called. I think Quiz will know the answer to that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to find out from Quiz.
That is
But-
a Jackbox game, right?
I think so.
It is. Yeah, that one's pretty fun. It's like even when I don't know why I do it. Even when I'm like I'm supposed to be a human, like trying not to get killed, and I'm over here acting like an alien sometimes. So, just because it's fun.
Yeah. And I am going to work on probably this weekend getting like making sure I know how to do it in Discord so that we can play when Quiz doesn't.
Yeah.
So that we can play over in our Discord.
I won. We were playing all bad cards last week, and I ended up winning that one. And then I took the win and I like dipped. I was like, oh, I'm out. And I had to go at that time. Oh yeah, okay. So you need 8 to 10 people to play that one. Okay, I'm pretty sure that we can get that. Like, usually we don't have enough space. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But I called dibs on we should play that if we're doing games tomorrow, Claire. If you're feeling any better, I want to play that tomorrow now. Thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, right, Liam. His ears perked up like a Furby. How the Furbies do it. Like,
Among Us.
can't say anything. It's just like you know how like you watch those videos of the people doing like saying like words that dogs know, and they're like, that's how it is. You just say
Oh
words.
yeah, I've seen that on TikTok.
I'm sure. Yeah, TikTok. But yeah. So okay, that's what we could do, or we can, like you said, just do 2 game weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Like kind of just end the year with games and fun.
Yeah.
And are you doing any more Sister Wives, Carly?
I think you need to with these new developments I'm hearing
I
about.
know you need
I
to.
was-
You need to get what just
Oh.
saying.
Claire, by the way, before you start that, Claire, did you see who retweeted me? Because I about died.
that's the captain from what is that show called?
Below Deck.
That's right, Below Deck.
Claire, Boat Daddy retweeted me.
I'm Boat Daddy.
I don't know, Claire.
She
Do
might
you
know.
I know Claire. I secretly know that, not secretly, but Twitter tattles and tells me that Claire likes the Housewives, but I don't know if she watches Below Deck. But yes, I about fell out of my chair. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I would have been like, yeah, pretty much. I'm still waiting for a like on CBT's video. Haven't got one yet.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
well, all right, guys, we're coming up on our 2 hours, and I need to take a shower because tomorrow's my early in the office day, so I don't want to stank.
Like I said, like a shower too. That's another thing. Make sure you
Yeah.
get in your showers.
Yeah.
Not saying you don't. I know you. I know what you meant.
She's like, I can smell you from here. Jeez.
Yeah. Make sure you get your shower in. Brush your teeth. I don't know.
Just
Okay.
proper hygiene.
Yes, hygiene. Hygiene.
Self-care.
Self-care.
Self-care is not
Good night, guys. Hey, Juju, are you going to go play trivia? I'm whispering that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juju. Won't you
At
come
that
join?
secret place you told me about.
What secret place?
I told you at it too.
Oh, is he playing right now?
He's starting in a
Or
minute.
he's live?
Okay.
Oh, I
Yep.
better go then.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I gotta actually get stuff done.
All righty.
But thank you all for coming. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Mousy,
Good night,
for telling your
y'all.
story again.
And if
Thank you, everyone.
anybody else wants to share their story, just reach out to us and let us know.
Yep, let us know.
All right.
Anyone's welcome to come.
Yep. We'll see y'all next week for game night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.